Okay, I think we're going to get started. Welcome everybody. Fenestration Canada is having a little bit of technical difficulties this morning, but they've asked us to kind of get started. So thank you for your patience. While you waited here, we're going to have Sarah kind of drive our PowerPoint today, and hopefully everybody can see this come up on their screen. I'll just stop there for a second and maybe you can just let us know.
And I get one thumbs up that you can see this presentation.
Okay, that's a good sign. Okay, we will get started then. Again, apologize for the delay. My name is Keith Kristalovich. I am the Vice President of Education and Training Partnerships for the Professional Home Builders Institute. I'm joined here today with Sarah Skoronsky, who's our curriculum developer at the Professional Home Builders Institute. Really excited to be speaking today about our newly launched fenestration training program that we've been working with Fenestration Canada over the last number of years, actually, to get this to market. And we're really excited that it's now fully up and running. So today we're going to take you through a little bit about who is Professional Home Builders Institute, what we do, how we got here today with this partnership with Fenestration Canada, and then Sarah's going to take you guys through the actual components of the program and to give you an idea of how it all works and comes together. So excited to show that to you. Like I said, Sarah's going to drive, so I'm just going to kind of keep cueing her here to move the slides through. So we're going to start with a little bit about who is PHBI. We are basically an education institute that has been established originally in the province of Alberta in 1987. We develop and facilitate curriculum specifically for the new home builder industry, although we are starting to expand that into some of the associated industries that support the new home builder industry. A lot of our programming is aligned to the national benchmarks that were established by the Canadian Home Builder Association a number of years ago. So they created competency profiles of what a new home builder and renovator should have for skill sets. And we support training that aligns to those competency profiles. We operate under a few brands across the country. We deliver education across the country now. We operate under the PHBI, we'll call it the corporate brand in Western Canada, in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. We also use that brand in Nova Scotia. We have two unique brands in British Columbia and Ontario called BC Builder Training and Training Ontario. The reason they're just a little bit different than our national brand is because those two provinces have a little bit different requirements in regards to builder licensing and competency requirements. For those that aren't aware, those are two provinces that are mandated, that mandate competencies to builders. They must prove they have certain skills and competencies before they can acquire a license, and in some cases, retain their licenses in the province of BC. So a little bit different structure. Go next slide for me, Sarah. We are also part of a group of companies called the Alberta New Home Warranty Program Group of Companies. We have in this group of companies, there is of course us, PHBI, the education division. We also have a warranty company, warranty program, and warranty underwriter company. And then the other part of our company is a new company that's also been opened up called Dweller, which is an inspection services company. So we warranty new homes, we inspect homes under construction or during possession handovers from builder to consumers, and we train in this industry. So we have a lot of background and experience in the industry. We feel that we're more than that. When we talk about PHBI as a whole, we're more than just an education provider. We are part of the industry as itself. Next slide, Sarah. How we develop our curriculums and programming through a couple of different ways. We have pretty extensive instructor and subject matter expertise base from across the country. Often our partners that we work with have decades of experience in the different areas that we develop curriculums for. We also have an active education advisory committee, which Fenestration Canada is now part of. This committee meets a couple times a year. It includes industry representatives, associated industry representatives, and we meet together with our education team to talk about what is new and happening in the industry, what areas are needing support from an education and training perspective. And this communication and touch base actually helps us develop curriculum, like basically kind of how the Fenestration Canada curriculum was formed. This Fenestration installer program was formed by those communications and people telling us what we should be considering to look at for the next level of training. We've learned along the way, though, that we don't have to create it all. We don't have to facilitate it all. There's a lot of great programming that exists across the country. And instead of creating it all, we've actually reached out and partners with it with a number of different associations, post-secondary institutes, polytechnics, associations that support the industries as well. And we either have licensed the curriculum or bring it to the new home builder industry from that perspective. And just to go to the next slide, we'll give you kind of a quick visual of what that looks like. So this is what we look like operating across the country. And a number of our partners are listed there from, again, some of the post-secondary universities, Stantec from engineering perspectives, other warranty providers, and of course, Fenestration Canada is right in the middle of that for us now. Next slide, Sarah. And so I want to start with next thing I want to get to is how this all started to be. So there's a lot of information in this slide, but I'll give you a summary of how it all started. Back in October 2020, during our COVID shutdown, I was approached by Richard McLaughlin, who's from Home Flash and some association to Fenestration Canada. We discussed the need for this program. He had been actively looking for opportunities to develop it. There's been a lot of research done on installations, risk and liabilities. There was also discussions with a number of stakeholders already he had by that time. He approached PHBI, the group of companies, and asked if we wanted to participate in this, knowing our background and experience in developing very similar education across the country. It didn't take long for us to take a look at this and agree to pursue this, and we'll get into why that is in just a second. We started to assemble a subject matter expertise group from across the country in that fall. And in January, we assembled them all for our first meeting on this topic. The participants from that subject matter expertise base included participants from Fenestration Canada, Home Builders, Canadian Home Builder Association, the CSA 440 Committee, building science experts, safety code officials, and window installer experts from across the country. I have to admit, it was a very passionate and sometimes even debate going on in this discussion. But at the end, we all agreed that it would make sense to go ahead and develop this. It was much needed for the industry, and we went ahead and did so. Why are we interested in this from a PHBI and our group of companies perspective? As I mentioned to you, we also are a warranty company. Our warranty team, might be some of them on this call today, have been supplying us data on claims that they track related to window installation or door installations. I'm going to take you through a few graphs here in a couple of minutes, but this is kind of the legend of those graphs. Just wanted to show you some of the claims that we do track here. We track things like caulking and sealant failures for window and doors. The actual rough opening, was the rough opening done correctly? Was the unit or door window installed properly in the rough opening? All the way through to is there leakage happening around those windows and doors? So this gives you just kind of an idea. There's about 5 core claims that we have tracked and we have assembled together. Our claims team has done a great job putting that together for us. So we're going to take you through a few graphs of why this is important. This is our 2024 data. This, again, might be hard to see. Some of it's pretty small on the screen, but basically January through December 2024, you can see on the right-hand side all those areas that we track. And you can see there was actually, quite a bit of activity happens on a fairly steady and regular basis in this particular area of the building envelope and when windows and doors get installed, not always done to perfection. And just keep Sarah to keep flipping through the slides. This is our year-to-date tracking, first quarter of 2025. So activity continues strong in some of these areas. And I'm going to keep going through the next slide here to give you some of the overall summary of what this data means to us. On the left-hand side, our claims team has put together in order of activity how often these occur from top to bottom. On the left-hand side, those are the claims that we're watching and tracking. On the right-hand side is a code of how severe each of these claims represents, meaning how much damage potentially is happening because of them. So you can see from the window side, things like tea staining happen fairly regular basis, water behind the nail fin, all the way through improper alignment, clogged drainage, weeping holes spilling water over into the sill sash. It's not associated with the homeowner. Maintenance missing or improperly routed or punched press, water through mechanical mullions, water through glazing stops, and broken weld on the vinyl frame. I'll go to the next one that summarizes some of those claims on the door side. Again, water below the sill, water through the sill, water behind the nail fin, water through fixed side light panels. And if you're looking at, one, two, or three severity issue, you're definitely looking at potentially some damage. And I'll keep Sarah going through the next slide here, and we'll get to the summary of this in a second. But the bottom line is, from the warranty side of our group of companies, our claims data pretty clearly shows there are very few instances where the window or door is unable to perform as intended, although we do understand that can happen on occasion. But overall, generally speaking, all this data, all these few slides I just took you through, shows and speaks to that when a window or door fails, often the claim data indicates it's mainly related to the details in the installation process. So we were certainly very interested in creating a training program that helps eliminate or improve some of this installation process. So we'll move to the next slide. And that's kind of why we're interested, where we came from, how we got here. So we're here and we're really excited about it. Where this program is now up and running, I'm going to get Sarah to hand it over to her and talk a little bit about how this program runs and works and what components it includes. So over to you, Sarah.
Thanks so much, Keith. So as Keith mentioned, we started early and we've been working away. What we've done so far is our first step was to develop an occupational chart. We needed all of those competencies that a fenestration installer needs to have in their day-to-day. And thanks to Fenestration Canada too, we worked really closely with a lot of Fenestration Canada members alongside that subject matter expert group Keith was telling you about. So safety codes officers, building envelope experts, et cetera, et cetera. People sitting on the A440.4 committees too, fantastic. And based on getting this competency chart approved by them, what we moved on next is to build the curriculum. So we needed to make sure all of those competencies that we decided with this wonderful subject matter expert group, whatever was important, we needed a curriculum to help teach that out. So to date, we've developed approximately 50 hours of content. It is comprehensive. It's all online, self-directed, super, super flexible. And I know you hear online sitting at the computer by yourself, you're thinking, oh, I don't know about that. So we're going to demo some of the course products today so you can see how really interactive it is. All of these course assets, in addition to the e-learning piece, they have course manuals, they have practice exams, they do have exams, and all of the content is grounded in references to the NBC 2020 and the CSA A440.4. Those are two really critical manuals, particularly the A440, to have fenestration installers aware of and working with. So as I mentioned, we have all of this content. We've broken it into 4 courses. So the 4 courses are now live and available on our website. Course 1 is From Plans to Perfection, Project Planning for Windows and Doors. And this is essentially everything from project planning, but it also includes some of the soft skills like critical thinking. It definitely includes reading and document use, working with plans, working with window schedules, etc. And then you'll notice it's 10 hours. And you'll see a slash through the price. I want to bring to your attention that we've discounted the first 3 of the 4 courses of the program for until the end of 2025. So if you're interested, I encourage you to have a peek. Our second course is Advanced Barrier Techniques for Window and Door Installers. And this is essentially everything building science that an installer needs. So we've got air, vapor, weather barrier. We've got the rough opening. It's all in here in this piece. Then we get to the meat of it, as I like to say, course 3, the complete guide to exterior windows for installers. You'll notice it's a 21-hour course. There is a ton of great content in here and lots to learn. Absolutely. And finally, we get to our 4th course, Unlocking Excellence in Exterior Door Installation. This one you'll notice is only 7 hours. And I just like to bring to your attention that we had this fabulous curriculum Fenestration Canada helped us develop. These courses are meant to be taken in order. So the knowledge from course 1, 2, 3 on down builds on what came before. Your course, you're welcome to register in the courses in any order you prefer. If you're not totally committed to taking the whole program and you just want to jump right in, we understand that. So it's not required. Just wanted to give you the heads up that they do build on what came before. And then program demo, which is the part I really enjoy. So bear with me here. I'm just going to shift over to our screens. And we're going to start with showing what these look like. So, oh, pardon me. I'm just going to stop my share for just a sec here. I think we got going a little bit late, so everything timed out on me, but that's okay. We're all here. It's all ready to go. So I wanted to start this piece just showing you what it really looks like, what our courses look like. And so you understand that it's not just sitting back, relaxing, and, playing back a video. So essentially here, I'm going to reshare with you. I think we've had a few technical difficulties, which is not a problem at all. So you're going to have to trust me on this one. Right now, right over here, this is a demonstration module I put together. The piece we're not going to hear is the sharing with sound. All of these are actually narrated, these courses, which is a really nice piece. Some adult learners are auditory learners or like to hear content spoken to them. So we do have our courses fully narrated. I'm just going to draw your attention to some of the interactivity bits. I'm going to make this full screen because I really want to see my course. I've got my volume control here if I wish to hear a little bit louder or quieter or not at all. I've got it muted right now. I've also got my playback speed. So perhaps I want to listen to it, but I want to slow it right down, or maybe I want to speed it up. So I have that option in my player. So I'm just going to jump into my course now. I can move forward by either pressing the start button here, or pardon me. And what I'm going to draw your attention to as well, this is a demo module, so not all of the content will make sense. I've pulled some pieces together to give you a really good sense of what the course looks like, or the various courses look like. But in all of our courses, we have a narration piece here. So as I was saying, you can listen to all the course content, or you can also read along if that's your preferred way of learning, or you can do both. So going back to the menu here, we try to avoid having our courses be a video. It's really easy if you're not interacting with your course to get distracted by emails or whatever else is going on in the room. So we like to have all of our participants, our learners, interact with the course. So you'll see here, there's some buttons, and this also chunks the material quite nicely. If we look back to the narration, there's a lot of content here. So this puts it into manageable chunks for the learner. We also like to use the timing. Again, this is a really content heavy piece, but it uses timing to just give you manageable bits at a time. So you're not going through too quickly. And then you're also having that visual reference of the icon that matches the content. Then we have one of my favorites here. This is a lovely little bit of learning because we're talking about a swing door, and I'm just going to pop back to the narration here. You'll see there's a ton of content. So example, it's going to tell me, it's going to narrate to me all of this content about styles. But if I click on it, I can also see exactly what I'm looking at. So this piece is really nice in terms of being able to literally visualize what we're talking about. And again, we just have some interactive pieces. There's a ton to know about in-swing and out-swing doors, but this just also gives me that visual of what's going where. Then we have a fun learning activity. I'm not going to do it all in front of you. It might be painful and embarrassing for me. But here now, we're going to check our knowledge. We're going to check our learning. I'm very confident about transom, so I'll pop that all in there. I'm going to match up all of these parts, and then I'm going to submit to check my answer. We know I got that incorrect. So I've got the whole explanation here of what should have gone where. And I have the ability to either, look through all of that content again, do a review, or if I like, I can go back to the original slide and make my way through that again if I feel like the knowledge didn't quite sink in at that point. And then we have this nice little slide about just in general, why is interactivity important to e-learning or to learning in general? It sharpens your critical thinking skills, right? If you're not just being lectured at, if you have to actually engage with the material, it makes it sink in. So that's something we tried very hard to do. And to do this, we use quizzes and learning assessments. We have lots of practice questions in there. We also use gamification, and I'm going to show you a really good example of that coming up soon here. Then we use scenario-based questions. So not just a simple true, false, or multiple choice question. We go into a little bit more depth. And finally, some videos also help us break up the learning style, learning speed, and the more we change media a little bit, the more engaging it is as well. And then we're just going to pop into, I mentioned quizzes. We kind of call these knowledge check questions, and they include scenarios. They don't actually count towards your mark or grade toward the end of the course, but it's nice to be able to have that practice and to prepare you for the exam as well. So here you'll see we'll have a practice scenario. Generally, these scenarios have 3 to 5 questions. This demo one only has 1, but I read through my scenario, which I won't do with you all, and then I go to answer a question. So how can the installer overcome challenges related to delivery? I'm probably not going to work indirectly or independently, pardon me. So I have the ability to try another answer. I'm going to try communicating with my project manager. And then here you have this great feedback. So if we were in the course itself, which this is the first course, the project planning and critical thinking skills, I can either go back in the course to that content and review, absolutely welcome to do that. But here I don't have to go look for it. I have the feedback. I understand why I didn't answer the question correctly. And we also like to provide chunks of content, shall we say, break it up a little bit, and then have these quiz or knowledge verification questions. So you'll see here, I probably just learned about door styles, and I'm going to just match these up to check to see that I got what I needed. There we go. And now I am just going to share with you a couple of other things. You'll notice this was a little door heavy, so I'm going to show you some of our window bits as well, just because we're so happy and so grateful that we were able to work with subject matter experts who were at the same time sitting on the CSA A440 committees. So we managed to get lots of great content from them. And this is just an example. So here I'm talking about trim and casing, and I have my words. I need all of that content there, but I can also, if I want to visualize a little bit better, I can have a peek and see that, okay, number 8, this is where my air vapor barrier is going in. 9, this is my interior. This is my drywall. I'm going to look at my back dam right here, number 11. So we have these are really nice technical drawings. This is just another example. So here we're talking about a spray foam method. Again, this is part of the window installation module, so it's going to be listing a lot of content step by step. But I also have this nice visual showing me where I'm going to put spray foam on this window and where I'm not. I don't want it on the bottom because, of course, we don't want it. We want to have our primary path for drainage, right? And then we also have our second method here. We've got our mineral wool, and it's another lovely diagram or another image. So it's showing me exactly where that mineral wool is going to have to be inserted. It also warns me, don't insulate the sill. We need it for drainage. And oh, I'm just going to, there we go. And don't tightly pack the insulation either. We don't want to lose our value, right? And the final little piece I want to show off to you is this reading and document use simulation game. So this one falls in our first course. And what it is, it's an extended scenario, essentially, but it's got 40 questions. So you'll notice up here, there are resources. I've already got these open, but I have house plans and I have a window schedule that matches. And so I am going to get started here. And the objective of the simulation game is to really learn how to preview and review documents, right? That's a really important skill for installers. So as I go into my knowledge check, my 40 questions, I just start answering questions. So now I'm going to install some windows. I have access to my blueprints, installation and safety guidelines. What should I do next? Probably shouldn't take a break. Maybe I'll review all my documents. And there I've got my feedback layer too. And then for the next one, and they just get progressively harder. So what should I review first to understand the overall layout of the project? I am going to have a peek at my blueprints and see what I have there. Then it gets more and more complex. This to me is where it gets fun. Now I need to look at my blueprints and see which room has the largest window opening. So as I've said, I've got these all ready to go. And I'm going to look at this is my second floor. I'm going to start with my first floor. And I'm going to have a really good look at all of the plans and figure out and look in enough detail that I can answer these questions. So now I'll pop back to my game. According to my blueprint, which window has the largest opening? So spoiler alert, I've done this question once or twice. Right, that's right. There's two. So we've got that there. Then I'm going to look at my elevation views. I won't torture you by going back and forth. Figure out how many windows I need for my project. And then I'm going to say, oh, how many windows are open? I can open. So I'm again going to go back to my elevation views, figure that piece out. And then this is a kind of a fun trick question. Does this correspond to the window schedule? Do I have 5 windows that open? So the plans we have in the schedule are an actual project that we built. And that's kind of a trick question because they don't actually match. There's a little bit of a discrepancy. So that teaches the critical thinking piece that we want to make sure installers have. And you'll see we just have different types of questions to answer here. So if I'm missing something on the window schedule, I'll go back, I'll compare the two, and I'll figure out that I'm missing my basement window. And then we get into even more details, talking about egress. So I could probably go on and on and on, but in the interests of brevity today, I will make sure that we leave it off there. And I'd like to say thanks so much and open it up for questions if anyone has them. I also want to draw your attention to the QR code. If you're interested in just having a look at the course descriptions, the QR code will take you straight to the PHBI website and the program description. That will link you to all of the courses.
And probably just to clarify the questions, if you're looking for technical answers on how to install windows and doors, Sharon and I probably won't be able to help you out that well. But if you want us to get you the answers to that, we certainly can through our subject matter pool that helped create the programming for this. So you can fire those our way. We're happy to get back to you on that. If you have questions about who we are, what we do, this course, and how it works, happy to answer that for you guys today.